thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
we have
you.
so much to talk about, obviously. We'll get to the show later on.
Okay.
But first, you went from a questionably 6'4" alpha.
Yeah. 6'3".
On to a 5'4" alpha. That announcement. Tell me just what has been going on in your life since the show.
I feel like everything has changed since I came out of the show, obviously. And yeah, I went from looking for an alpha male, absolutely went into the show looking for an alpha male, and now my life has completely turned around and I've got an alpha female. It's just a complete 180. It wasn't something that I expected. I ended up like stumbling upon her, and here we are.
Tell us a little bit about that stumble. How did you meet?
Okay, so we met through friends. So it actually happened. I was in the car with Leah from MAFS. We were driving home from somewhere, and Leah called her girlfriend Maz. And Lily is one of Maz's friends. So Lily and Maz were together at Maz's house. And when we were on the phone, I thought, actually, she's quite cool. Like, she's got something about her. But I never thought about Lily in that way because I wasn't necessarily interested in dating a woman. But we were just having a good chat on the phone, all four of us. And then that night she slid into my DMs. She'll kill me for saying this. She slid into my DMs and we were just chatting, and she's got a lot of confidence, Lily. And I thought, okay, she's got something about her. And then I woke up the next day and I thought, I don't know why I'm messaging this girl, because I don't necessarily want to date a girl. And I didn't want to lead her on. So she'll also kill me for saying this, but I ghosted her for about 5 days. And then we'd arranged to all see each other that weekend as a group, like a big group, to go out. And I said to Leah, I was like, look, I don't want to go if Lily's going to be going, because I don't want to lead her on. Like, I've not spoken to the girl for 5 days. I feel like I've ghosted her. And Leah was like, come on, you're not the be all and end all. She's got a date arranged next week. Like, stop thinking that you're everything. So we all ended up going out. I actually sat with Lily for about 5 minutes before everybody else came. And like that, I just clicked with her. And it was just, I can't even explain it. Like, I sat in front of her and I was like, you are a bit of me. And I think people that meet Lily understand that as well. She's got like an aura about her, but we just connected, and it wasn't something that I went out to find, but it's something that I couldn't stop with her.
Had you ever considered dating women before, or was this just completely out of the blue for you?
I'd never considered dating women. So when I was much younger, when I was like very late teens, early 20s, I'd slept with girls, but it had always been like a drunken experience, and I'd never thought to myself that I would connect with a woman or that I would ever be in a relationship with a girl. And since that had happened just a couple of times when I was much younger, I'd always then been in relationships with men, and I'd always thought that I would be in a relationship with a man. So I suppose the question for people, I suppose, is, have I always been bi? I don't know, I suppose, because I've slept with girls in the past. But as I say, I've never connected with a woman. So I don't know what label people would put on me. But I definitely didn't ever consider being in a relationship with a girl. That has come out of the blue for me.
What's it been like? So being so public and being in your first same-sex relationship, how's the reaction been from people, and how have you kind of felt about going public with it?
I think for me, I wanted to be really true to myself. So even though I knew there would be a mixed reaction, and I think I knew people were going to be shocked, I was just going to stay true to myself no matter what. And I thought, if there's people really close to me that don't understand it, or if the public don't understand it, that's absolutely fine. But what feels right to me feels right to me. And I was more than happy to go public with Lily because of how secure and how safe I felt. The reaction absolutely has been mixed. I think there's been so many positive comments, and a lot of women that have messaged me directly to say that they've been in a similar situation where they've been with men all of their lives, or they've had experiences sexually with women but they've never connected with a woman, but they're thinking maybe that's the route that they should go down. And I feel like that's lovely that people have been able to see my journey and to see that I accept myself, and then go, actually, maybe I could accept myself too. So yeah, for me, it was never something that I was worried about doing, but the reaction definitely has been mixed. It's hard for people to comprehend, and I totally understand that.
You were saying before that when you connected with Lily, that was through Leah from MAFS.
Yes.
Has she been a bit of a support for you through this?
Yeah, I mean, Leah's a support in my life throughout everything. Like, I connected with Leah in the show, and I feel like Leah's like a sister to me. Like, I know she'll be in my life forever. And I think it's tough for us as well, because there was always that question mark around me and Leah in terms of like a romantic connection. And there was never, ever anything. There never has been anything. And the relationship I have with Leah now is the one that I had when we were filming. Very much platonic, very much a friendship vibe. But yeah, she's been supportive. She supports everything that I do. But it's been great to have her there along this journey.
Where was your first proper date with Lily after that connection? What did you do?
Well, when we first went out and I met her and I had that instant connection with her, we arranged a date pretty much a couple of days later. And I thought, okay, this will give me a real idea of whether I'm into her. You know, there was no drinks involved. We went for a walk with my dog. And I always feel like my dog's a great judge of character. So I thought if Dottie loves her, then we're good. But yeah, I think on that day, it was a real turning point for me, because we were just out there in the open, broad daylight, as I say. We weren't out with friends having drinks or anything like that. It was just myself and Lily, and I really connected with her. And I thought, okay, things might change here. You know, it might be that I'm interested in girls now. I'm interested in Lily. You know, I think that was a big turning point for me.
And in the show, you were so specific about what you wanted, that kind of bigger build, the man, the big feet, you know. Did
I say big feet?
I think so.
Me now.
How does it feel now, like that connection with a woman kind of on a deeper level, compared to that kind of checklist that you had before that so many women go into dating with?
Yeah, I think I definitely had a long list of like prerequisites that I wanted from a guy, and I suppose a lot of them came down to like the physicality, which is probably so shallow of me, but I think I linked like masculinity and dominance and leadership with that big 6'4", 6'3" alpha guy. I think I've always been interested in people that are like into fitness and that have that side of their life, and I think I've always just put two and two together, you know, a big guy, somebody who can lead from the front and who's very active and that's the type of person that I want, and I probably pigeonholed myself into that. As I say, Lily came out the blue and couldn't be more opposite to that. Like, she's got a masculine energy to a degree, but I also call her the princess. Like, she's so princessy as well. So I think it's very, very different and very unexpected, but the relationship I have with Lily is soft and it's safe and it's comfortable and there's lots of laughter. And I think I've never been in a relationship with a man when it feels like this. There's always been something with a guy where I felt like I am too something, you know, too much, too needy, too confident, too independent, too cold, too something for them. And I think now, whether it's because I'm in a relationship with Lily or whether it's because she's a woman, I don't know, I don't feel too anything. I feel...
It's incredible.
Yeah,
I love that.
I feel spot on.
And how are things going? I saw you spent New Year on Barry Island. You
Yeah,
met a family.
Christmas. Yeah.
How's it been going?
It's been going so well. Like, lesbians move fast. So
Have you moved in together yet?
pretty much.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of months, but pretty much. We spend so much time together. And yeah, I'm a really intense person anyway, and I've always been told that in relationships that I want everything to happen really quickly, and, you know, I want things to happen yesterday. I've been told that. And I think being with a girl, I don't know whether, sorry to all the lesbians out there, I don't know whether it's just a thing that we all move quick, but it feels like that's okay, you know, that I want it to move at a certain pace, and so does Lily, and that feels cool with both of us. I met her family properly at Christmas. I'd spent some time with them anyway when they were here for her football games, but I went and stayed with a mum in Wales. I met about 20 friends, and yeah, it was intense, but it was really, really nice.
How are you finding the football? Were you into it before?
No.
Do you know the offside rule now?
So, the way I describe the offside rule... God, there's going to be so many parts of this, you're going to hang your head in shame. I say that when the ball's in play, that's how I start it, because then it sounds like, yeah, when the ball's in play, don't go on the wrong side of the defenders when they're running towards you.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Nailed it. All good.
Yeah. I went to a game the other day and I was like, offside. To be honest, before I started watching Lily play, I didn't even know like which way the ball was going. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know. So my eyes have been opened. She tells me different football facts all the time.
This time next year, you'll be an expert.
Honestly. Yeah, football was just never something that I was into. And I went to watch a men's game with Lily the other day and I loved it. Like, the atmosphere was incredible. It was like, I completely understand why people love football. I think I just love watching Lily play, though. Like, when I see her, you know, it doesn't matter who she's playing or what she's doing. Like, I love watching her play. I feel dead proud of her.
So cute. Going back to the show now, do you think that anything to do with MAFS kind of prepared you for your next relationship? Do you think it changed your mindset, or do you think you would be able to have this safe, stable relationship had you not gone through that, or just a show?
That's such a good question. I don't feel like it was just a show for me. It was life-changing in so many different ways. And I think it probably has shaped the way I've approached the relationship with Lily. I think the relationship with Lily come as such a shock. I don't think I ever could have been prepared for it, but I definitely think it's shaped how I view myself. I think being in the show and analysing your relationship literally every day, it's like you're having therapy, with like couples therapy every single day, and there's a group of people that are also analysing your relationship. So I think because you're doing a deep dive into your, you know, the way you operate, there's no doubt that will shape what you go into next. I think the show for me allowed me to completely accept who I am. And as I said to you before, that I've always felt two something in a relationship. I think the show gave me clarity on, actually, I'm fine as I am. I know who I am. And taking that into a relationship is okay. I think I always thought that I just hadn't found the right person, and that's why I wasn't, you know, settled. Whereas after the show, I've thought, well, you know, maybe I'm fine just as I am, and I've just got to wait and see who comes along. And then here she is.
How do you feel watching it back now? So you watch back the wedding, and it feels like you instinctively knew kind of straight away that there wasn't something quite right for you. Maybe the chemistry, there was a lot of kisses on the cheek.
Yeah.
How do you feel watching it back, and do you think that maybe there was something in you at that time that just knew it wasn't right?
I think on the first day, within the first 24 hours, I don't think it was a secret that I was like, no, he's not for me. You know, I was very overwhelmed by the experience as well, and I don't think viewers get to see that. The wedding for us, well, the whole day lasted nearly 24 hours. We were nearly awake for about 24 hours. It's exhausting, and you're pulled from pillar to post, and they're trying to get as much content as they can, which is fine. But it's overwhelming. And when I heard other brides and grooms talk about how it was the best day of their lives, and I was thinking, how? Even if you really connected with that person, how is that overwhelming day the best day of your life? It just wasn't that for me at all. And I think when I first met Bailey in that situation, but also meeting him as a person, we didn't connect. We didn't have anything there instantly. It sort of took a nosedive for me. But in all fairness to him, it did very, very quickly turn around. We woke up the next day, we found out where we were going on our honeymoon, and we then went into the lounge in the airport, and because so Bailey sorted that out for us, and there was only us two that could get in there. And I think once the cameras were off and it was just us two, I could actually speak to him one-on-one, and we connected, and from then we got on like a house on fire. So I kind of put our lack of connection in the beginning down to the setup of the day, not necessarily me and him.
You did find love on the show. You know, you did say you were 100% in love with Bailey at that point. What do you think it was about him at that time that made you think, actually, there is a future here?
There were so many things that I loved about him, so many things, and I'll never take that away from him, that he showed sides of himself that felt really safe to me. And I think, as I said to you earlier, I had this idea in my mind of what this alpha guy was, and how he'd treat me and what he'd look like, etc. And actually, when I connected with Bailey off camera, it felt so right and it felt so safe and so normal, and that's what I stuck with. I think it's really hard when you constantly have a camera following you round to know what's real and what's not, but it was always when the cameras were off that Bailey and I connected more, and I just thought, you know what, that is to me real life. I saw others in the cast where they would connect a lot on camera and then the cameras would go off and they didn't spend as much time together, whereas for Bailey and I it wasn't like that at all. The cameras would go off and be like, right, let's go out for a date night, or let's stay in together. We were chasing those times that felt really real, and that's why I fell in love with him, and that's why the relationship blossomed like it did, because it was so real to us.
And you went to the Maldives and there was a cyclone. How's your luck?
Yeah, we went to Mauritius. Mauritius. Yeah, we thought we was going to go to the Maldives because one of the producers was like, "You're going to the dream destination," so we were like, "Right, it's the Maldives." Both thought it was the Maldives. We opened the envelope and we're like, "Where's Mauritius?" Like neither of us knew. Like, please don't put that in. It got cut though. But yeah, there was a cyclone. I don't know if it's the time of year or if that's what happens there commonly, but we got stuck in the honeymoon suite for days on end because there was literally, we'd open our curtains and like all of the sun lounges and everything were just flying across literally across the sky. It was crazy. It was really unexpected, but
did that give you time to connect because you were kind of forced to spend that many days together with not a lot to do?
It did. It felt a little bit like lockdown. Like we literally got a letter through saying you've been locked down. But we had cameras there all the time. So in our honeymoon suite, we had the director, the producer, the assistant, etc. So yes, we were able to connect, but there's only so much connecting you can do when you've got a group of people around you. So.
When it comes to you come out of it, you're thinking about a future together, and there was always that huge question mark over you live in Liverpool, he lives in Hove. How difficult was that for you? Because I think you could see as a viewer, it's huge, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Bailey and I, we sailed through the process. Yes, we had a couple of little bickers, but obviously, as you see in the show, compared to other couples, we didn't have that much going on. We were probably one of the more like boring, safe couples because we just got on so well and it felt like a love story that was just playing out. And I think at the end of our journey, the big question was, what will we do about the distance? And I think for the show, they had to really focus on that because, as I say, we didn't really have much drama. That was our big conundrum. For us, when we left the show, I always knew that Bailey couldn't move. He did say to me, if he didn't have Bluebell, because he worked remotely, he would live in Liverpool in a shot. He said, I'd come and live with you so we're not apart. But he had a daughter, and I said to him, both on and off camera, there's no way that I would ever expect you to leave her, and I wouldn't. I admired how he was with Bluebell as a father, and I would never have asked him to leave her. So it was always, when will I move to Hove? That was the question. So we spent a lot of time both in Hove and in Liverpool to start off with, and we both put loads of effort into the travel, and that worked well for us. But we knew that at a point, probably last year, I would eventually have moved to Hove. So I started to look at things there, like they had a gorgeous run club on the beach, they did yoga, like obviously fitness is really important to me, so Hove as a place is just gorgeous, and I thought, you know what, I could set up a life here. We looked at somewhere where I could set up a clinic, and we were looking at places that we could live together, like somewhere bigger. So yeah, we were planning to set life up down there, and I always knew that would be the case.
I mean, looking back now, obviously you have new love now, but I suppose you wouldn't deny that you were in love with him. It was real for you.
100%. Yeah, it was. And I think it's so tough because people were saying to me before we left the show, we came back for like a home stay, and people were saying to me, just see how you deal with it on the outside, when jobs come into it, children, location. And I thought, you know what, it's not going to be a problem for us. Like, I don't know whether I was just blinkered that this love that we had in this bubble was going to just be picked up and moved into the real world, and it would be exactly the same. And of course, it wasn't at all. But in my mind at the time, it would be. So I think I was just the ultimate optimist when it came to how our life would play out. But obviously, as I say, like the bubble burst for us when we left the show.
Do you have any regrets about that, or?
I don't have any regrets, no. I don't, because I gave it my all in the show and I was really true to myself. And I think it's really difficult when you've got cameras in front of you all the time and you're being pulled this way and that way, and you've got so many opinions from different cast members, from producers, etc. So to be really true to the relationship that you've got, no matter what's going to be shown on TV, is hard, but it's something that Bailey and I both did. And I think that's why we left the experiment so strong. And I think from there, we both put a lot of effort into when we got back. And I think we can then look back at that process without regrets.
Now you say no drama for you, or a very little amount of drama for you guys, but there was a drama that your name was bought into.
Go on.
Leah.
Yeah.
Now, it was the accusation of you guys flirting together. What did you make of that at the time?
Total rubbish. So, do you know what? I should probably set the record straight. So, the reason that ever came about was because when we all first met at the first dinner party, so obviously Leah was at the stag do, and Leah's wife, was at the hen do. So I'd never met Leah before. And as I say, when we all came to the dinner party, Lee had asked Leah, is Rebecca more your type? Because obviously they both weren't each other's physical type, and that was shown. And I think Leah had said, I'm into, taller girls, brunette, gym, that type of thing. And obviously we're from the same area. So the direct question was asked to Leah, is Rebecca more your type? And that's where it came from. It wasn't that Leah had come into a room with me and gone, she's a bit of me, or, started flirting with me. It wasn't that at all. It was the direct question. And I think that's what frustrated Leah and I, because it had never blossomed other than just our friendship. We live next door to each other, so Bailey and I and Lee and Leah were on the same floor next door to each other. Leah and I went to the gym together all the time. We've got the same sense of humour, hence why we're so close now. We're from the same area. I think when you're in the experiment, you cling on to people and feelings that are like home, and she felt like my friend, that I'd had for years and years, and she's felt the same about me. And I think we did become really close because of that. And I don't know whether that was possibly a threat to others, but that's all it ever was. All it ever was. And there was conversations about Leah having a flirtier personality. So she was never, ever like that with me, ever. She never has been like that with me. I've never, ever felt uncomfortable or, oh, is she flirting with me? And I think there's been a question mark around that since I've come out being in a same-sex relationship. Like, oh, well, Lee must have had a point then. There must have been something going on between them. There's never, ever been anything going on between me and Leah. There never will be. I love her, I adore her, I think she's gorgeous, but...
I can see you laughing. Did it surprise you at the time when the conversations were coming up? That if you just, you're friends with her, it must have felt a bit...
I think it surprised me how long it was going on for. When you get put into that situation, there's lots of conversations about, well, is that person more your type, or you're more interested in, is it a TV show? There's lots of that type of conversation. And I think when you're going into there in a fresh marriage, of course, different people are looking at each other and going, oh, is this a good match for me? Or are they more match for me? But I think once that period was over, it was like, okay, no, me and Leah are just really good friends and we're really close. But it was kind of made into something else. And I think that's what frustrated us more than anything. We just wanted to be seen as our friendship and nothing more.
So in the show, we saw and heard so much about your fitness, how important all of that kind of thing is to you. Are you still at it? Still going to the gym every day?
Still going to the gym every day, yeah. It's huge for me. And I think fitness and overall well-being, nutrition, etc. has always been really important for me. And it's definitely ebbed and flowed in my life. I've been very overweight before. I've been very underweight before when I used to model. I feel like I've been on every side of the scale. And going into the show, I felt like a really strong, fit version of myself. And I think the show just took over in terms of lifestyle. My lifestyle was so different in there. And I put on a lot of weight. I was there for 3 months and I came back much, much heavier. And I think I felt then very sluggish, very uncomfortable. And I just tapped into what I'd always done before to get myself back to a healthy place. And I think that's what's really important for me now, is that it's not that I need to get back to a particular size or lose a particular amount of weight. It's that I need to feel healthy and feel great about myself. And I'm in that place now. I think fitness and, as I say, overall well-being will just be part of my life forever. It's something that I'm really interested in.
Have you had other women, people reach out to you talking about your journey with kind of your ups and downs with weight and well-being?
Yeah.
What's that been like?
I think it's something that a lot of women can relate to. And I think especially being over 30, I'm 33 now, and I've found that a lot of women have reached out to say, look, I'm in a similar position, I'm over 30, I don't have children, etc. And it's something that they want. But I feel like a lot of women get to that point when they get past 30 and they feel a lot of pressure from people to be a certain way or look a certain way or have children or settle down. And I think I'm probably somebody who's out there that shows that you can actually do whatever it is that you want to do without pressure from society. You know, I think, a lot of people have been in touch to say, I've admired how you've looked on the show, I admire you when you've come out, and how can I jump into fitness, especially people that have never started anything like that before. I'd like to be a bit of an advocate for people to start a fitness journey, even from scratch, at any age, without any worries. I think, you could be in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, you might have never picked up a dumbbell, and I'd like to be someone that could show that actually you can do it at any age. As I say, it's really important for me, and I feel like it's important for everyone to be active in some way, to feel good, and I'd like women to feel from my journey that they can be empowered to do that.
Did you ever think sort of 5-6 years ago that you'd be in this position now, kind of giving people advice, talking about fitness and well-being, talking about your personal life as well?
Never in a million years. I think even if I think back to like 2024 to think, oh, actually in 2025 I'm going to be married on TV, I'm going to be out there to the public, and then I'm going to be in a relationship with a woman. If somebody had said that to me, I'd be like, absolutely no way. Life has taken such a turn, but I've loved every second of it. I wouldn't change anything about it.
One of the things you were saying before is that you've had some comments made about children now that you're in a same-sex relationship. Tell me a little bit about that. What have people been saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. So obviously, I said on the show that I want children. I've always wanted children, but never really knew when I wanted them. I've got a niece now who's 3, and I feel like ever since she was born, I was like, actually, it's something that I really, really want. I do want to be a mum. So anybody who I've ever dated or been in a relationship with, I've made sure that that's something that they want too. And since I've been in a relationship with a woman and that's gone out to the public, I have had comments from people saying, well, obviously you don't want to be a mother then if you're with a woman. Which is just crazy to me because we're in 2025 and these things can happen. I absolutely do want to be a mum. I want to carry children. I want to carry children of my own. If Lily wanted me to carry children of hers, I would do the same. So it's definitely something that we've spoken about. Lily's really family orientated, as am I, and she wants children. And yes, in a same-sex relationship that can happen, and it will happen. So yeah, it's definitely something that's on the cards at some point, but I'm just not sure when. And I think people find that strange as well, that I'm 33 and yes, I want children, but I'm still of the mind frame of like, actually, I don't know when. Mm-hmm. I don't know when. And I think that's why fitness is such a huge part of my life as well, because I wouldn't want to get to 35, 40, 42 and say, oh, actually, my body's not in a healthy physical state to now have children. Because also age might not be on my side. Whether age is on my side or not, I want my body to be in a really good place to carry babies.
Now that you've come out of the show, what's next for you?
Gosh. When you say now that you come out of the show, I feel like the show was such a long time ago. Like we finished filming before the summer last year. Mm-hmm. So it does feel like such a long time ago. And I feel like life, as I said to you now, is just so different. It's so different. Life has gone back to normal in a way. I still run my aesthetics clinic. I'll always do that. I've done that for the past 7 years and it's something that is so important to me. It's growing and I'm busy and that's brilliant. But there's also this, new life doing things like this and speaking to people like yourself. And I think I've just said to myself that I will embrace whatever comes. I said that to myself last year. Had the biggest year of my life, the biggest change. And I think I'll just approach this year in exactly the same way. Just saying yes to whatever feels right for me.
What's next for you and Lily? I know we say lesbians.
Marriage, children. No, joking.
Listen, you got married on a first date. So.
I think I think it feels so nice right now, and I don't want to necessarily change anything. I think this year, for sure, we're just going to enjoy each other's company, spend loads of time together, experience things together, and, you know, not take life too seriously, because last year life was very serious for me. But we just love being with each other, and we have such a good time. We love doing the same thing. So I think our life over the next 12 months will just look like that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you.
Thanks.